Next up, we are travelling a bit, and last week we saw Graeme exploring Ghana and everything that it has to offer, also known, of course, as the gateway to West Africa. But this morning, we're crossing the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the United States, Washington, D.C. to be exact. And if you ever find yourself in this magical city, then Graeme brings us his must-see attractions when in D.C.
Washington is the capital of America, dubbed by Charles Dickens the city of magnificent intentions, as it reflected the desires of its creators, a heritage easily found around the city.
If you've only got a very limited amount of time to take in all of the rich culture and history of a place, all of these wonderful experiences, the best way to do it is get yourself onto an open-air bus.
Taking a one-day city bus tour lets you enjoy a front-row seat to all the historic landmarks, consisting of various iconic monuments and sites.
Kate, of all the incredible memorials and museums and these incredible cultural experiences, out of everything that we've touched on so far, the Jefferson Memorial seems to carry with it a certain gravitas, almost a spiritual kind of feeling.
Absolutely. Thomas Jefferson was the architect of the U.S. Constitution. He is the person who wrote down the rebellious words against the English, that all men are created equal, and really defined what it meant to be American right at the beginning of the country. So people feel a real poetry with him. So it's fitting that his memorial should look like a little temple.
Moving on from the tributes of America's founding father, we pass through DC's world-famous cherry trees, en route to a personal travel highlight of mine.
Kate, looking at the very shared narrative of South Africa and America when it comes to the birth of the Black consciousness movement, you can understand why, for us, the memorial to Dr. Martin Luther King is very significant.
The Martin Luther King Memorial is incredibly special, not just to Americans, but also Washingtonians. Washington, D.C. was the place where Dr. King led his March on Washington in 1963, and not 5 minutes away is the Lincoln Memorial, where he gave his I Have a Dream speech. It's the city where he completed his I Have a Dream speech. So this dedication in 2011 by President Obama really closed a loop in history. This is the only memorial on the National Mall that's dedicated to a citizen and not a president.
From the most central figure in the American civil rights movement, Reverend Martin Luther King, we continue to the American president known as the Great Emancipator.
Kate, in South Africa, we place so much importance on those independent figures, those stand-out statesmen that have birthed our country. Would it be fitting to say that Abraham Lincoln is the father of a United States of America?
He absolutely was. Here was somebody who was born in a log cabin, grew up to be president, taught himself how to read, and held together the United States during and after the American Civil War.
Sightseeing through Washington felt like one postcard moment after another. What an enriching day, providing an unforgettable insight into America, of course, with one more stop.
And of course, if I even really had to say it, topping that list, the White House. And just to mark the occasion, it looks like President Obama has just taken up residence again. But if you're looking for a snapshot of the US, DC is the perfect one-stop shop. Culturally, historically, every experience has been enriching. It has been a remarkable day.